Alright, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this is episode, which just escapes me, 36 of Kingdom Death Monster, Lantern Year 11. So, to recap, this Lantern Year had a special showdown, which meant you do the settlement phase, and then after the settlement phase, you immediately do a special Nemesis Encounter, which doesn't count as your Nemesis Encounter for that Lantern Year, because you normally only have one fight per year. But then you go back to settlement phase, and you can heal your party, do some more development stuff, and then you can still go out and hunt a quarry. So now what's happening here is the survivors are coming back, seeing what's happened, and then I'm going to prepare new survivors, also do a intimacy event, and then we're going to then hunt a screaming antelope. So I was going back and forth on what to hunt. And because I need to ramp up on how many resources I get, because there's things in this game now that take a lot of one type of monster resource, or the fact that I need so many rare pieces off a really hard boss fight that I'm running out of opportunities left to gear up before these more difficult Nemesis encounters. So I was thinking about doing a level 2, but the problem with level 2 is it's not just that they have a little bit more toughness and one more speed and one more damage. When you put all of the mechanics together, it makes them substantially harder, not just a little bit more of a stat. Because, for example, if somebody's hitting you for 2 damage, speed 2, that means, let's say theoretically they'll do, and you'll always survival dodge 1, that means they'll do 2 damage to you somewhere, okay? But if they had another speed and another damage, that means instead of doing 2 damage to you, now they're doing 6. So it's 3 times more damage coming at you that, let's say, you can't block. And if you get that in the same place, unfortunately, that could immediately put you on a severe injury table. You know, yeah, you could be lucky and get hit in multiple places, but what if you don't, right? That's the problem, because I have 2 people that don't... This person has weak gear, but has ability to get back survival. But still, if it gets hit really hard in one place, could immediately go to severe injury table. And this person only has headgear. So you see what the problem is if any of these 2 people get hit, I could potentially lose somebody. And I have such low population that I'm trying to get back people, and I can't afford to lose anybody at this point now. It's gotten that dire as far as my population. And as you know, you don't lose the game for losing a person, you lose the game for losing your settlement goes to 0. So there's that problem. The other problem is the monster also gets a little bit harder because they have more of an AI deck, so they take more hits, but that also means more opportunities to have really more powerful AI that comes at you. In addition, that there's also a behavior that the Antelope would have at level 2 that they didn't have before that makes them more mobile after they do their AI card. And the fact that I don't have the ability that I have so much survival that I could do multiple dashes constantly and protect myself, or the ability to do an extra movement and an extra attack if I'm isolated, that's the problem. So it's like I just don't, they have abilities and I don't have the abilities to counteract it yet. And then I have 2 people that can't keep up with the amount of damage that would be thrown at me. So I was like, okay, so then what do I do to... The main thing I want to get is not only as many resources as possible, but chiefly right now, hides. What's the best way to do that? So with the cat, I know that they had more advantageous hunts that I could, like, prey on cubs to get resources, as well as Shimmering Mane could count as 2 hides. That was a thought. But the other thought is, if I crit farm, because I have someone that has high chance to crit and I have lucky charms, I know Antelope in particular has more instances that if I do a critical hit, I get a resource. So if I just farm for just the crits, I could get more resources as well. And that's sort of the idea. To have it be a manageable fight and just try to prolong the fight to get more resources off the Antelope. Plus, the Antelope resources, the reason why I'm trying to get hides is I'm trying to unlock the leather worker. That way I can make leather shields. That way I can make pickaxes and sickles to farm resources. And also you need leather as a component for doing at the Plumery, which was a summit location, if you recall, of the Phoenix, to start making the Phoenix weapons and gear also. And I do want to hunt the Phoenix. The problem is, the Phoenix, you want to have a lot of insanity and people that potentially could get blasted with hunt experience. And right now, I don't even have 4 people that can do that. So, and that's the problem with the Phoenix. But I can't even do the Phoenix till I have hides. So everybody needs to have gear, and I need to unlock the leather worker. So I need leather. So that's the idea for the Screaming Antelope for time being. All right, so let's proceed. I just want to get you a little bit on why I've chosen, as you can see, the Screaming Antelope for this stream. And so for this stream is just the hunt. So it's going to be the parting phase of the settlement, as well as returning from the hand encounter. And then we'll do the hunt, and then we'll do the setup for the showdown against Screaming Antelope. All right, cool. So the survivors returned, but nobody returned. If you recalled, and from the last stream, it was a TPK, total party kill. So nobody came back, but there's still stuff I want to do. One is, obviously, I have to figure out who's going out now. I've already adjusted gear grids for what I'm taking out this time around. Like I indicated, I'm using some lucky charms and took off all the a couple of auxiliary pieces I'm not using, like Frenzy Drink and Monster Grease, and instead rocking lucky charms to try to get those critical hits, critical wounds on the monster. But one thing I do want to do is intimacy, because I do have love juice, which immediately can trigger the intimacy story event. So that I'm definitely going to do. I'll do that right now, because I need more people, and that's guaranteed people. So the first thing I want to do is see who's going to be the couple. So I need a male and a female, and I only have 2 males left in the settlement. One is Cloud, who was a newborn, the newest member of settlement, and the other one's Oko. But if you remember Oko, he got destroyed genitals. So even though he's male, he can't participate in intimacy. So I'll have it be, the parents be Cloud and a female of choice. Now, the interesting thing I can do is, if I have Volva be the female, when I give her a bonus stat, it could help her get back her crappy stats, is one thing I could do. Or I could give it to someone else who would actually benefit. But it's true, I could use it as a way to start overcoming her crappy stats. That way she has normal stats, I should say. I think I might actually do that. I might actually do that. Yeah. She's been a battery. Now she's more involved, because we're at the point that everyone except for who can actually go out except for Isma needs to actually participate. So yeah, I'll have and the idea here is I'll have Eve, Volva, create the cloud card, and then if I successfully have a newborn, that person will come out too, is the idea here. So yeah, so it'll be like a family thing. Okay, so I'll have Cloud and Vulva be parents. So this right here, parent, and Cloud, parent. And let's see what happens. So those are two consenting adults, and we're going to use our love juice. Which is here somewhere. And now we're going to roll the intimacy table, and again we roll 2 dice and take whichever value we want because we have protect the young. All right, so I'm looking for the intimacy event. I'm actually hoping for twins and